everyone. Welcome to our new podcast called Mother, Me, Keisha. Yes, Keisha from The Truth Show and Keisha's Gossips and Truths.
And a daughter, me, Alexis, from who's currently in college right now. So.
Al Azaya Chat, which means...
AKA Random Chat.
Yes, that's what it means. Don't you just love Black History Month, despite it being the shortest month of the year? But we're grateful.
With that said, we're going to celebrate and talk about historical events or iconic color figures of history leading to modern times.
Oh, yes, love it. However, in this podcast, I will be talking about Bill Cosby and the conspiracy and plot against him. Do note that I already did a video about this. I will leave the link below. But we do want to touch on some things. Like, for example...
there isn't any evidence to support any of their claims.
It's all right. It was reported that this Andrea Constant accused Cosby in 2004 of sexually assault at his Cheltenham residence in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. It was also reported that this Constant would later file a criminal complaint against Cosby in January of 2005. Now, at the time, the police indicated that no charges would be filed against Cosby due to insufficient evidence, and the case was settled out of court and the case was closed.
Okay.
Then, conveniently, the allegations resurfaced during a stand-up routine by comedian Hannibal Buress in 2014.
Okay.
Giving Cosby racist competitors an idea to finally take him down, okay?
Okay.
As a result of these allegations, controversy brought forth 60 other women who also alleged that Cosby had raped them as well. One was Chloe Goins. Goins alleged that she was raped on the grounds of the Playboy Mansion. She later sued Bill Cosby in 2015. Her 2015 lawsuit was later dismissed. These allegations were based on a 2008 claim. This case was again settled out of court for an undisclosed amount in 2006. Now, the fact that the alleged rape occurred 2 years after the settlement was never questioned. Oh, and it was noted that both women wanted to work with Bill, but he never fell through with it. That's something to think about. That's noted.
What?
Oh, yeah.
So, sued Bill Cosby in 2006, and like most celebs, they just paid them to keep quiet, whether they were lying or not.
Yep.
Then 2 years later, in 2008, she accused him again. Huh.
Yep, that's what happened. And no one questioned the authenticity of the claim that this Chloe can't seem to get her year correct. I mean, the girl is obviously lying, okay?
Wow, and that's crazy.
Heck yeah, despite this denial, Cosby obtained a mistrial in June of 2017 due to the fact that the jury could not come to a decision on the case. Now, the district attorney vowed to retry the case, and charges were refiled again in April of 2018, and Cosby was back in court.
Okay.
Again, they wanted him bad. I mean, goodness. You see... Again, they wanted him bad, okay? You see, the witness that was prevented from testifying previously was now allowed to testify.
Okay.
She told the court that Constant fabricated the charges as a way to extort money from Cosby, as well as for future purposes, you know, like book deals and so on and stuff like that. The prosecutor produced Constant's initial police report and deposition, transcripts from 2005. Now, the defense countered by producing flight logs, itineraries from Cosby to the show that the incident could not have occurred when Constant alleges. The result would be to render these charges outside of statute of limitations, or at very least, they would cast suspicions on the veracity of Constant's allegations. But the prosecutor countered only by saying that the logs and itineraries may not be accurate.
Okay.
I mean, seriously. Screw the fact that their freaking accusations are not accurate with no merit and no evidence, but, you know, I guess some people hold some kind of authority here. Anyway, moving along here. So, what do we have here? An unsealed deposition where Cosby admitted to giving women, at their request, may I add, whereas quaaludes and having a consensual encounter with this dude looking consent. Have y'all seen the picture of this girl? I'm just saying. I mean, she looks like a dude. Just saying. Which have been noted and fabricated and made up. I mean, it has been so much proof of fabrication and seriously false testimonies. It's ridiculous. I mean, if this was a white person, they probably would have thrown this out so freaking years ago and would never pick it back up again. I'm just saying.
Didn't he try to buy NBC years ago? There may have been repercussions from that.
Yes, maybe. But it was leaked that Bill Cosby was framed with rape allegations in order to prevent him from buying TV network NBC back then and again and years ago when these allegations took full blaze this time.
Well, they may have saw Cosby as a threat and they had to invent these allegations against him in order to destroy his career. So they concocted up these allegations to destroy his character and legacy.
Yep, that's exactly what they did. Yes, and they had already warned him many times. First by killing his son in his Cosby. I did a full video about this as well. YouTube flagged it, nothing new. Then he came out with the Bill Cosby Show in 1971 that ventured off to the Cosby Show that we all came to love. Then every time he announced a new project, this scandal just falls into his lap. But this time we have social media, internet, so the story spilled a lot faster. Oh, and when they didn't have any colored and or black women speaking on the allegations, because a lot of radio podcasts and stuff like that was speaking on that. Oh, it was only white women. I mean, how suspicious is that? So what they get well known around the way Beverly Johnson to allege many things against Bill. But what they didn't say about her was that she too tried to get a job working for him, but Mrs. Camille Cosby and Bill were like, hell no, they know how they know what she is. So there's her motive right there. Oh, and it was leaked that his best friend from, the late Hugh Hefner was really the one they were investigating initially. They've been trying to get Hugh Hefner for a long time. But listen carefully. He sacrificed his friend, Bill Cosby, a black man. He set up his friend Bill Cosby to save himself. I did a video about Hugh Hefner and that whole thing. I went really, really deep. YouTube flagged it. You can find it on my Patreon.
Wow. And isn't he still in jail?
Yes, Bill Cosby is still in jail. Yeah, he's supposed to have been there for only 2 to 3 years. But now I'm not sure. I know they recently released a photo of him in jail back in October of last year. And Jesse Jackson was supposed to have requested for his initial release. I'm not sure if they did or not, though.
But you still have Matt Lauer raped a girl in his office, among other things. Yeah. And he only got fired. That's it.
That's true. The same with Bill O'Reilly and others. Heck, the actor from Seventh Heavens, Stephen Collins, admitted to what he did and nothing happened to him. Nothing. You see, this is nothing but a social lynching of a black man. But what really hurt is no one stood up for him. No one. All the celebrities, comedians whom he inspired, gave a chance to, didn't say anything or have his back. They were too freaking scared for their reputations and careers. Now, this was back in the 60s. We would have stood up for each other, marched for each other. We would have did something to back up the fellow brother. Isn't that what Sam Cooke song about his song? But everyone is saving their own behinds. Everyone is standing on quality. I'm not saying that. Nope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they're afraid to speak. They're afraid to take that risk. The man was set up. It's clearly he was set up. There is ample amount of evidence that he was clearly set up. Okay, there were a such thing as quaaludes back in the day, and his relationship with Hugh Hefner was suspicious. But what you don't understand is that Hugh Hefner, his workers, all of that, they came forth with evidence as well. This is before the whole little trade-off thing, to say they even think they had interviews, and all of them say when Bill Cosby, he didn't come there to have sex. He came there because he did not want to stay in a hotel. He was getting threats, hence why his son got killed. He was getting threats. He was becoming way more powerful. He felt the only way he can be himself, the only way he can be safe, is to stay in Hugh Hefner's little mansion or fortress, which is what a lot of celebrities had done. It's like a hotel there. You get room service. You get to play games on the lawn and whatnot. You get to see some titties. I'm not saying if he partaked in that sexual proclivities. I don't think so. None of them say he did at all. But he just went there for just a meal, some peace, and freedom. You gotta understand, he's a very, very powerful black man. Very, very powerful black man, okay? Been titled as America's favorite dad, and he's black. So imagine him staying in an all-white hotel. It'd be like a Sam Cooke story all over again. I mean, that's why he went to that. Even those parties that Hugh Hefner had thrown. I looked through the guest list. Cosby was not on that guest list. Kobe was. Kobe Bryant was, but no one wants to talk about them, which is really strange. People would love for you to talk about Cosby and put him down. But when you talk about Kobe and all his sexual assault allegations that he swept under the rug as well.
Yeah, there's so many of those.
He was never faithful to his wife. May he rest in peace, and their beautiful daughter. This is not, I'm just speaking facts here. This is not trying to degrade anyone's death. To speaking facts here. I would talk about this if he was alive as well. He was never faithful to his wife. His wife knows he was not faithful, but she learned to live with it, whether she wanted to admit it or not. And he was a frequent guest at the Playboy Mansion. There's proof that he was a frequent guest at the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
Vanessa, his widow, knows he was a guest at the Playboy Mansion. Okay?
Yeah.
Just like Queen Elizabeth and all the rest of them, and all the rest of these, Jennifer Lopez, all the rest of these celebrities, they like to put up the little smiles and play games of being a perfect widow, a perfect wife, a perfect fiance, a perfect whatever, make it seem like everything is all hunky-dory, but we know the truth. We know the freaking truth. And there was no evidence to say that Bill Cosby did anything. There was no evidence that he forced any woman to do anything. He's a rich black man. He did not look bad at all. He was very handsome back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't think he had to pay anyone to do a thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I mean, if you look back at his old pictures, you can definitely see, well, I don't see him struggling, actually, to meet anybody. I mean, he was in the height of his career, like, really in his prime, both looks-wise and just in general. I don't see him struggling to find anyone to, like...
Yeah, me too. I don't see him struggling because he was rich. I'm not saying that he didn't cheat on his wife. I'm just saying that he didn't have to force anyone to do anything. That's all I'm saying. I mean, seriously. Yes, I heard of Quaaludes back in the day. I mean, Hugh Hefner was a huge, huge user of them, which is amazing that none of these women came forward to admit sexual assault or rape allegations to him, because you know he probably did some shady crap. And all them girls, I'm sure, was not of age.
Yeah.
But he got a pass. I mean, he literally got an open pass for prostitution. Seriously. In Hollywood. But then they want to prosecute Bill Cosby. Not saying he was one of those people, but I just want to say the difference. And it was really strange how Hugh Hefner was able to keep establishing his career, but then you have a black person who's accused with no merit, no evidence that he did any of these crimes. His career is ruined, and he's left to be seriously just corroded and die in jail as an old man, despite the contributions he did to colleges, TV, comedy. There's a lot of comedians who thank him right to this day for their start somewhere. You know, despite everything he contributed to the black community, he's left to rot in jail. But then you have people like Woody Allen, you know. Don't get me started on Elvis, who's dying a legacy, and the man was a known pedophile. We ain't even going there right now. Heck, Jeffrey Epstein, there's been rumors that he's not even freaking dead. Harvey Weinstein's supposed to be in jail. I have not seen any evidence of him being in jail, though.
Yeah.
Just saying. And don't get me started on that Ghislaine, what the hell her fucking name is. I don't know her name or anything. Have you seen the picture of this woman?
No.
She's supposed to be in jail. She's supposed to be one of the most wanted people in jail. To have the key to take down big conglomerate companies with big conglomerate elite people who was involved in this trafficking of children. And let me just say this, and I've been wanting to say this for a long time, and it pisses me off. You do know Jeffrey Epstein had snatching ports all over the world, and they weren't all white kids. They only broadcasting the white kids, and it pisses me off. He actually stole black kids too. There are pictures of white men trying to buy black kids on the internet. It's called dark web. Look it up. But they're not talking about that because hence that doesn't matter. But that'll be a whole nother podcast. There's no picture of this woman at all. At all. Not one of her in her cell or drinking some water or on the lawn playing basketball. I'm not even sure what they do in jail. Did you see a picture?
No.
We just see these stupid pictures of her in party. So there's no proof that she A is alive, B that this whole court thing is even true. Screw A and B is enough. So how are we supposed to believe this? But they so quick to broadcast pictures of Bill Cosby in jail in 70, I think he's 77, 78, something like that, in jail, riding away. Well, if he's still in jail, I'm not sure. I mean, what do you think of that?
I think it's crazy. Yeah, but my issue has to stem from a lot of people don't keep the same energy when it comes to, like, all of the celebrities. I mean, you have big figures that people want to raise on a pedestal that have done some really horrific things. But then you have people like Bill Cosby, who honestly have contributed a lot to the black community. And we still pretty much ignore that.
Yeah,
you have so many others I can think of. Let me see. You have Michael Jackson. People like to talk about him. And he contributed a lot, especially in music.
And in colleges, he donated a lot of money to colleges as well.
You have a lot of big figures who really did so much for black people, but yet we treat them as criminals. We
don't treat them; they treat them like that.
Yeah, but we see them as criminals, and then down talk them. I mean, make jokes about it in like a very negative, demeaning sense. And sometimes I'll just sit there and like hear it, and I'm like, I don't know about this.
I know, I completely agree, because it's really sad. It's like they have a list of black leaders who make some positive attributes or a positive outlook on the black community, and they have to take him down quick. They have to frame him for obscene things that they're probably guilty of themselves, you know, to degrade their name, to stain their legacy, to destroy their legacy. You know, they do it to black people all the time. And they're not going to think of Bill Cosby and his legacy and all he has literally done for the black community in Hollywood and in the world. They're going to think of nothing but his sexual assault allegations that held no merit or no proof at all. That's what they're going to look at.
But did you know that people on Twitter was talking about how Will Smith is going to be next?
I know, because he has this halo over his head. You can see he's being next. People would think they would probably go after Denzel Washington, but Denzel Washington is not like Will Smith. They're on different wavelengths. Denzel is more, I'm a huge fan of Denzel. I think he's done some great movies and things of that nature, but he kind of stay on the fence. He's straddling the fence between their world and the black world. He's kind of playing it safe, like I'm with the Black Power movement, but hey, I got bills to pay kind of mode. So he's going back and forth with his involvement in the elite. So they're not gonna, he's too much of a puppet. Let's go ahead and put it out there. So they're gonna keep him, you know, hanging on that string a lot longer.
Yeah.
Will Smith has not really been on that string. This is the man who came out with a movie with concussions.
Yeah.
Which spoke out about $1 trillion NFL.
Which still get ignored to this day. People really still don't take this into account. This is a serious issue. You should really see. It
is.
I mean, this is going a little bit off topic, but I mean, it's still relevant in some ways. But those actually, this footballer, they did a scan of his head, and his frontal lobe, again, is the frontal part of your brain, has a lot to do with decision making, and this is the part that gets damaged the most in football players. Which is the reason why a lot of times they're more reckless than like the average person, because that is extremely damaged. Have you seen those MRI scans? Yes, I've seen them. It makes them go crazy. I couldn't even be married to a football player because, oh gosh, they're not very. But that's because their brains get damaged. It depends what the position they're in, though. Yeah, but that's because their brains get damaged. Don't get damaged as much. Yeah, because their brains get damaged a lot, and that's not a good thing. Because the amount of damage their brains are getting is as if they're in a car accident. Like, think about what happens in a car accident. That's true. And then think about that happening to their brains every single time. The big ass men coming at you with full force and stuff. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? See, that's why they didn't want that movie to get too famous, because they didn't want that message and that thought to be put in people's heads who actually can make a difference. Like, oh, this is really something we should think about here. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is an issue. They don't want, no. I mean, Will Smith actually you need to go check this out on Netflix. On Netflix, he has like a Black History program. He talks about slavery. He talks about Carver
and a lot of black iconic leaders, and you have these big actors and, you know, white people of their magnitude talking about the civil rights movements and inventors. This is what he had on Netflix. I was watching it. It was very nice and put together and stuff like that. I was like, why can't we just do this? He's talking about the black issues and things of that nature. It was very graphical. They had reenactment. It was very nice. Go check it out on Netflix. It's called Men, the Fight for America. I have it below if I can remember. But yeah, I think many people should follow his path, the way of thinking. And I know the jealousy is ample high because he does have this good boy image. So they're going to do one of three things. You know, screw it. Just look at Michael Jackson's life. They're going to accuse him of some sick crap. Destroy his image. That's bring forth. They're going to destroy his image. After they destroy his image and he tried to fight for his rights, they're going to see how that marinates, see how that go over with the black community in Hollywood. If that doesn't go over too well, they probably amp that up a little bit more. And then from there, they're going to say he has some health condition and they're going to try to kill him off that way. You know? And if they don't do that, they just do it just raw and just go ahead and kill him. That's literally what they do to every black leader. You know, they destroy his image. They socially crucify him, literally lynching him. And then they just kill him off eventually. That's what they do to every black, positive, iconic leader. To succeed in America, to succeed in the world, you cannot be good. Good people do not get far. Speaking as a good person myself, you will not get far being good. You will only get far, okay, being bad. Now, once you get to that level, you know, throwing some money in the black community after you done stepped on how many people backs and, spilled blood, so many victims, you can go ahead and put that halo back on your head, after you had some horns up there before, you can put the halo on your head after that. But it's the truth. Because that's what happens. You do your dirt to get to the level. And then once you get to the level, you want to act like you some, God of the coming, the third or fifth set, whatever number coming, You can act like you're the coming of some whatever. Even though no one's going to discuss the dirt you did to get to the level where you at. There's no halo on your head. But you can put it on there if you want to. And, it can be kind of a convenient halo. But that's how you succeed. Unfortunately, you do not. People who are genuinely good do not get far.
Yeah,
you just don't. It don't exist. I mean, Martin Luther King tried to do it. Malcolm X tried to do it. The list goes on how many people tried to be good. To be honest.
Yeah.
Gosh, being good just don't get you far at all. You gotta be dirty, and you gotta be so dirt where they think you good too. You gotta camouflage that crap like a bad cake. The cake can be made with bricks, but the frosting make it look so tasty, Yeah. Sometimes you got to do it that way, unfortunately. So, yes, I believe that Bill Cosby is innocent. I believe they set this man up because they've been trying to destroy him for years, for decades. They killed his son. Literally, they killed his son. And his daughter. He had to attend his daughter's funeral in chains. Imagine how humiliating that is. So, yeah, they definitely trying to destroy this man. You guys need to take note, take heed, and black people need to start standing up for each other. Just like Malcolm X said, it will become a time whereas when one black man gets destroyed, it destroys the entire black community. I'm paraphrasing, that's pretty much what he had said. I think it comes that time. If we don't start standing together, they're going to win. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And we're signing out. Well, that's it for today's podcast. Tune in for Tuesday's podcast.
Oh, yes. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, and we have a lot more coming. No filter, especially you, Mom.
Anyway, talk to you all later.
Well, bye-bye.